Force of Will in the Epic Storm. You heard me correctly, and today our combo deck is becoming the control deck. Let's go check it out. Why would you want to play Force of Will in your 4-color combo deck, right? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Well, if you think about how the Epic Storm has been playing out recently, I think that it makes perfect sense. So when you look at the main deck recently, not a lot has happened. It's the same 60 that we've been playing for over a month now. But if you go back before that 1 month, I was testing Force of Will in the main deck because we do have a sufficient blue count these days. We have 4 Ponder, 4 Brainstorm, 3 Echo of Aeons, and then a Song of Creation. So if you add in Force of Will, you can get up to 16 blue cards in the main deck, which is passable. It's a little bit low, but it's passable. So that is an option you have. So when I was testing that, I found that it didn't protect Burning Wish plus Lion's Eye Diamond very well. Or, Beseech the Mirror Lion's Eye Diamond, or Echo of Aeons Lion's Eye Diamond. Really, it's just Lion's Eye Diamond's, claws of discard your hand. So we ended up moving away from Force of Will in the main deck. Well, in the sideboard, I think it makes a little bit more sense. So previously, we were playing copies of Thoughtseize here. Okay, well, that makes sense. You can discard Mindbreak, Trapper, Force of Will, and then use your, Burning Wish into Lion's Eye Diamond. Well, the problem with that is Thoughtseize discarding Force of Will didn't happen too often because you didn't board in Thoughtseize in the control matchups. You heard me correctly, you don't board in Thoughtseize versus control decks, because that's not why it's there. It's there for the combo mirror and then prison matchups. Okay, well, sure. So the problem with that is Thoughtseize isn't good on the draw. You can't cast it before your opponent resolves a Trinisphere or before they kill you. And we kept on losing to these Glass Cannon Echo of Aeons decks. And well, if I had Force of Will in my deck, that wouldn't happen. Okay, well, that's fair. Well, it also stops Chalice of the Void on 1 or 0, and, Trinisphere, turn 1 wins, things like that. So we started testing Force of Will, and it solved a lot of our problems. Other combo decks at least had to respect us. We saw our win rate against Doomsday and Cephalid Breakfast go up a little bit, and things like that. So Force of Will is doing its job. Well, if I mention that it's countering things, why do we need Chain of Vapor? Previously, we were playing Echoing Truth. Well, some things are still going to resolve. You can't always have the turn 1 Force of Will on the draw. So Chain of Vapor is best against things like Leyline of the Void or Chalice of the Void on 0. And well, you might be thinking, most people just Chalice of the Void on 1. Not ever since Beseech the Mirror, because Beseech the Mirror needs cards that bargain. So the common number is 0 because we have all these 0 mana value spells in our deck, and people typically play Chalice of the Void on 0. So you can beat that with your main deck copies of Veil of Summer, because Veil of Summer says your spells can't be countered. Doesn't matter if they're blue or black, they just can't be countered. So you could leave in Veil of Summer for Chalice of the Void on 0, but it's pretty stinky all around against, those strategies, where Chain of Vapor also bounces Leyline of the Void. And if your opponent does play Chalice of the Void on 1, you have Force Will, but you also still have Beseiju who endures. So now we have 6 answers to Chalice of the Void on 1, but 8 for Chalice of the Void on 0, and that's made a pretty huge impact. So that is why we're playing Chain of Vapor and Force of Will today. My win rate with this list has been very good. It's not quite as high as my other list, but I believe that's a shift in the metagame and not a fault of the deck list. I've been running into more dedicated hate recently. And well, when you look at how the Affinity deck won, we saw a lot of Null Rods and Meltdowns come out, but also the Friday Night Challenges. Most people are running Mindbreak Trap now. So I'm just seeing more interaction that is favorable against Storm combo, but it's not a fault of the deck list. The deck list, I think, is actually beautiful. I'm so excited about this deck list. So much of the fact that I bought 4 Japanese foil Force Wills. That's how much I believe in this. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this longer deck tech, and without any further ado, I want to hop on in and play some Legacy Magic the Gathering. I'm sure that's what you're here for, so I will see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the play and we're facing someone with a MTG Goldfish history that is full of nothing but lands. So that's what we're expecting here in the first match. We cannot keep this. We will mulligan. Okay, so unfortunately, we didn't open up any mana again. Now we're forced to go down to 5 cards. Another change that happened that I forgot to mention. I've gone from playing 2 Cabal Rituals and 2 Mox Opals up to 4 Mox Opal. And that is, not a decision I took lightly. But when you look at the deck list these days, we have 4 Echo of Aeons, 4 Beseech the Mirror, 4 Galvanic Relay within the 75. So you have 3 in the main deck and then 1 in the sideboard of each of those cards. And Mox Opal plays better towards those play patterns. So we're on 5, we're facing a deck with main deck Sphere of Resistance. I can try to go to 4, looking for Lion's Eye Diamond, Echo of Aeons, or I can keep this mediocre hand. It is capable of a turn 2 Echo if I ponder into Lion's Eye Diamond. So I think I'm going to begrudgingly keep this. We'll bottom the Commercial District and the Mox Opal. Alright, so hopefully we're not hit by a turn 1 Sphere of Resistance, but you never know. We'll lead on the Bloodstained Mire, fetch, grab Underground Sea, and we will ponder. This would give me a turn 2 Beseech the Mirror win. Actually, it's not a win. If we had one more piece of cardboard, it would be a win. This is just Beseech the Mirror pass. I don't think that's good enough. We're going to shuffle. Yes, I would like to shuffle. Hey, look at that. Beautiful. One of the changes that we're also not doing is we're no longer playing a sideboard Consigned to Oblivion. So I could actually open up my sideboard here. And I feel like the sideboard Consigned to Oblivion was a little bit of a safety net because when you looked at how often it was actually used, it was incredibly low. And in order to add in the 4th copy of Force of Will, we cut the Consigned to Oblivion. And you might be saying, why not play one over Chain of Vapor? Chain of Vapor is just the most efficient card we have. So I don't want to be playing, a card that I use 1% of the time. Because every sideboard slot you have is worth 7%. So you take 100 divided by 15, you get 7. And if you're only using a card, 1% of the time, is it really worthwhile? I don't believe so. Alright, so they didn't have the turn 1 sphere. We're going to ponder again. Echo of Aeons, Lotus Petal, and another ponder. We'll keep the Lotus Petal here because it does give us a card to bargain. And we can pass now. How I'm looking to win this game at the moment is likely Song of Creation. Yevamaya, okay. Elvish Reclaimer. They have 2 cards remaining in hand. We know that we have another Ponder on top, but Ponder doesn't help us start Song of Creation, so I'm going to fetch it away, and I'll search out a Commercial District. Lotus Petal's perfect. Okay. We're going to attempt to win the game here. On our mulligan to 5. They cast Crop Rotation. Okay. Probably for a Wasteland here, and they did in fact grab a Wasteland. So that's annoying, but not the end of the world. Storm is 1. So we could Beseech the Mirror for Song, or I can just pass. Because we can put Song into play, but I can't trigger it. I think I'd rather pass the turn. They play a Thespian Stage. 1 card remaining in hand now. So this Elvish Reclaimer can grab Dark Depths, so we're running out of time. Echo of Aeons. So I could Beseech the Mirror for Lion's Eye Diamond, or I can just wait. And I think I'd rather wait. They're going to use the Elvish Reclaimer. And there's the Dark Depths. So they are representing a win on their next turn. Misty Rainforest. And now they're passing. So we need to draw something good here. Chrome Mox. That's actually perfect. Alright, so we're going to play out the Chrome Mox. And imprint Burning Wish. So we're going to have 1 trigger after Song of Creation. I wish I had a black card to imprint here because we could have had 2 triggers off of Song of Creation, but that's not how it shook out. And we will Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing Chrome Mox. We'll grab Song of Creation. Storm is currently 5. And if we hit a Lion's Eye Diamond, we can Echo of Aeons with Song of Creation in play, and then, the world's your oyster. So looking to draw a Lion's Eye Diamond here, or just spells we can cast. They had the Beseech You. That's so unfortunate. This is their final card in hand. Okay. So we're not dead this turn. I'm going to grab an Undercity Sewers to see if I can find a Lion's Eye Diamond. Ding! We'll take it. Draw 2. Beautiful. Look at that Mox Opal not being a Cabal Ritual here. I guess we would have had Threshold, but I still prefer Mox Opal. I mean, I think it just works so much better with our strategy. We'll float a black mana. And let's make 3 blue. And we'll flashback Echo of Aeons. 1 black mana in pool. There is a Soul Guide Lantern in play. I'm curious if they use it here. We have 1 Burning Wish in exile. So we have 3 left. There's 2 Beseech the Mirrors left in our deck. So if they exile our graveyard right here, we have 5 hits, not counting the main deck copy of Tendrils of Agony. They do use the Soul Guide Lantern. I think it was probably correct here because Gaia's Will isn't... Like, if I could cast Gaia's Will, I could kill them. So it doesn't matter. But I also drew the Tendrils of Agony, so that's going to be good enough for game number 1 here. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond, the Misty Rainforest. Let's cast Ponder just for Storm. We don't know if our opponent is on the white list or not. And if they're playing white, there is Swords to Plowshares in their deck. So I'm going to just increase the Storm a little bit before I cast this Tendrils. And we can keep all of these. Cast the Dark Ritual. How many drills? 10 drills. Alright, well it's actually 14 drills, but you know what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so they had the Beseech You. We won anyway. Better lucky than good. And now we're going to game number 2 where we bring in our Force of Wills in the first matchup. I love that. Alright, so Beseech You coming in. And it's a pretty simple boarding plan. When I board in Force of Will, I typically side out Galvanic Relay. This plan also usually happens in matchups where Veil of Summer isn't great, so you can board out Veil of Summers and then shave 1 Mox Opal. And I think that this is a fine strategy for this matchup. Game number 2, we're on the draw. We've opened up double Beseech You. I believe that's good enough here. Like, yes, I would like to showcase Force of Will in the video where it's all about Force of Will, but just keeping good hands is what you really want to be doing if you're trying to win the game. And having double Beseech You versus the deck with sphere effects is really what we want to be doing. So they've taken a mulligan, and they have turn 1 Sphere of Resistance. How will we ever beat that? I don't know. And there's the Force of Will. We'll play Misty Rainforest and pass. Thespian Stage. Into another Sphere of Resistance. Well, I'm going to Force of Will this one. We'll grab Underground Sea. Force of Will. Exiling Song of Creation. Tendrils of Agony. Not really a card we want. I'm going to pass the turn. They're actually a Dark Depths away from a very insane start. So if they have the Dark Depths, this would be a turn 3 win through everything. So they don't have a play here. I'm going to fetch. I don't feel the pressure to destroy their sphere immediately while fixing their mana. They don't have any green mana, so do we actually want to use these Beseech Yous? I'm not so sure. Alright, well, surveilling away an Echo was perfect here. Big fan of that. Okay, and now we can go to our next turn. Brainstorm. And they're going to Surgical our Echo. I'm going to Brainstorm in response here because I want that free shuffle effect to get rid of this Tendrils of Agony. Beautiful. We'll put back... Actually, do I want the Chromox with Beseech the Mirror? I might. We're definitely putting back the Tendrils. Our Song of Creation is gone. So this likely needs to be a Gaia's Will win. I'll get rid of the Bayou. It's a little bit of a conservative play here, but I think I want the Chromox. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire and pass the turn. Another Sphere, you got it. Spheres for days. We'll fetch. Go grab Undercity Sewers. Keep the Chain of Vapor. They have 3 cards. I think I'll pass here. We're also getting to the point where maybe I don't need to use a Storm Engine like a Gaia's Will or Echo of Aeons. They're at 12 life. Another tapping of this Ancient Tomb, and we might be able to just natural Tendrils of Agony them pretty easily. And they have the Dark Depths. So they know that I have the Beseech Yous. I'm going to try to trick our opponent a little bit here. I'm going to destroy a Sphere of Resistance. This will give them a green mana source. And now they're going to copy their Dark Depths, and then we can just Chain of Vapor the Merit Lodge. So I wouldn't have made this play if I didn't draw the Chain of Vapor, but having the Chain of Vapor, it's just so free to destroy 2 of their lands, get rid of a sphere, all for the cost of Chain of Vapor and a Beseech You. Like, this is really going to set our opponent back. Another Beseech. Show them Chain of Vapor. We will pass the turn. They do have green mana now. It's worth noting. Well, they would have had it anyway. They found a Yavimaya. Haywire Might. I don't really care about that. Another Chromox. Our opponent's dangerously close to being dead here. We will pass the turn. The Haywire Might can gain them 2 life. So realistically, they're at 12 here, not 10. We'll take 1, we'll fall to 15. Alright, so it's our opponent's end step. We're going to Beseech you this third copy of Sphere Resistance. So you might be saying, Bryant, well, this game would have been so much easier if you were playing Echoing Truth over Chain of Vapor. And maybe that's true, but with Force of Will, Beseech you's Chain of Vapors, we were easily able to answer triple Sphere of Resistance this game without too much of a fuss. And I think if your argument for Echoing Truth is it would have made things easier, I don't think easy is what I want. I want the most efficient thing for the most matchups. And Sphere Resistance isn't that. Like Leyline of the Void, Chalice of the Void, those are cards I lose to more often than Sphere Resistance, where we easily navigated through 3 of them here. Okay, so they're at effectively 10 life. If I ponder, I need to find like a Dark Ritual. Worried about Storm Count just a little bit. So I think I'm going to cast the Ponder. And if I don't find anything, we can just pass. We find the Dark Ritual anyway. Okay, let's try Chrome Mox to see if they bite on the Haywire Might. And they do. Sweet. So now they're going to go up to 12 life. Chrome Mox will become exiled. I'm not going to imprint. I feel like that'd be very foolish here. Dark Ritual. Chrome Mox. Storm is 4. Chrome Mox trigger on the stack. They Force of Vigor going down to 10. So now I don't even have to worry about a Veil of Summer. No. We'll play the Lion's Eye Diamond. Beseech the Mirror with Bargain, sacrificing the diamond, and our opponent concedes the match! How about that? Take that, Sphere of Resistance. We are 1-0 in this Legacy League featuring Force of Will. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. We're on the draw for match number 2. I'm going to keep this. Our opponent is known for playing Red-Black Reanimator, and this is not a very fast hand, but because we're on the draw, you're better off keeping a hand that's a little bit slow. Ooh, not Red-Black Reanimator. Okay. I mean, they could still be on a grief strategy with this card, but keeping a hand that's able to consistently play the game is something we're interested in. This could still be Dimir Scam or something along those lines. They did not shuffle off the Ponder. We draw Beseech the Mirror. We will play out a Lion's Eye Diamond that resolves and Ponder. These are both very good cards. We will keep these. I think I'm going to imprint the Song of Creation now. I realize that I lose Storm Count, but I don't know if I can afford this Chrome Mox being discarded. So we're going to play that out just a little bit early. And they play a second copy of Ponder. Once again, they do not shuffle. They have Wasteland. Goodbye, Volcanic. We'll draw the Veil of Summer, play under City Sewers. Now we're going to surveil away the Galvanic Relay because we just don't need it. And now we'll pass. Like, we're trying to have a protected win here. We're not trying to play the value game that Galvanic Relay provides. Interesting. Tropical Island. So there could be on Bug Scam or just, Bug Control. I'm not really sure. Another diamond here. I'm going to attempt a Burning Wish. See if this resolves. Met by Force of Will. They've already used the 1 life, and there's the Exile Yorion revealed. So this is probably just Bug Control. We'll pass the turn now. A little bit fortunate they didn't have a Daze there. My plan was to grab Echo of Aeons, but ultimately that didn't really matter. Another Dark Ritual. Let's test the waters with a Veil of Summer. That resolves. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. And now we'll hold control on this Beseech the Mirror. Bargain away the Chrome Mox. And now we'll sacrifice for black and sacrifice for red. We'll grab a Gaea's Will. Play the Gaea's Will. And then we'll replay our Volcanic. Cast the Burning Wish using a black mana. Yes, and one of the few cards we could lose to here is Stifle. So we're going to grab the Thoughtseize and try to discard Stifle from their hand. Look at that. They have the Stifle. And now we're off to game number 3. Because they didn't concede earlier, we know that our opponent is on the Bug Scam deck. and not like blue beanstalk or something along those lines, or bug beanstalk. And now we can go to the next game. We'll bring in Beseech Ooze and just side out a couple copies of Mox Opal. Once again, Force of Will is not for these matchups. I know that, like, in theory, you could bring it in so many matchups. It's not for this. Just don't over sideboard. Play to what this card's strengths are. Don't try to just bring it in because you can. Game number 2, we've opened up kind of an awkward hand. We have Gaea's Will and multiple Burning Wishes. I believe that you're better off taking a mulligan. And this is awkward, but we're going to get rid of the Gaea's Will. Misty Rainforest. Grief here is backbreaking, exiling another copy of Grief. So they're going to take our Lion's Eye Diamond. I think that's to be expected. They take the Chrome Mox. Interesting. Do you have a Reanimate? Is that why? And just nothing matters? Nile Spellbomb. Okay. Commercial District. Not a bad draw. We'll keep the Bloodstained Mire on top and pass the turn. No point in playing this out into a daze. Bloodstained Mire will pass. Actually, let's play out the Lion's Eye Diamond. It's better than it potentially being discarded. I know that I have the Galvanic Relay, but I don't think Galvanic Relay is a card that's going to define the current game, where this Lion's Eye Diamond is really a difference maker. Tropical Island, and here's Orcish Bowmasters, most likely. Interesting. So that was either a bluff for Bowmasters, or they want to try to get my Brainstorm. Land number 3, they have 3 cards remaining in hand. We will use the Bloodstained Mire, go grab Undercity Sewers, keep Ponder, cast the Ponder. Do you really have Orcish Bowmasters? This Veil of Summer is a good draw, but am I supposed to play it into Daze here? I think I was actually supposed to leave the Veil of Summer on top, not draw it. Because now if they try to discard me, I have to Veil in response, which is a little bit awkward. So I should have left this on top of the deck and drawn a Burning Wish. They Brainstorm, and it looks like they're just passing the turn here. Let's try to Brainstorm and fix our hand a little bit. There we go. We'll get rid of... We don't need 2 Burning Wishes, so one of those can definitely go. And I still don't think that we're in a spot where Galvanic Relay is that good, so we'll get rid of one of those. Fetch. They allow that to happen. We'll grab Bayou. And let's attempt a Burning Wish. They Daze, that happens. Pass the turn. They quickly replay the Tropical Island, still 4 cards in hand. Is this a Witherbloom command? It seems like it. They don't want to destroy my Veil or my Lion's Eye Diamond. That's interesting. They could have destroyed my diamond there, and they just didn't. Yeah, destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. And then we know that they have a Polluted Delta in their hand. They search out a Bayou pretty quickly. Lion's Eye Diamond. Let's attempt a Veil of Summer. That just resolved. That's interesting. Chrome Mox. We can imprint one of these Echo of Aeons. We'll add blue. And I think I want to leave a diamond in play. I guess if I do black, it means that Beseech the Mirror is live. I should make black mana. Who am I kidding? And I think we have plenty of blue mana, so I'm going to use all of the blue mana floating because we have 2 untapped blue sources in play. They did not use the Nile Spellbomb. They're representing Veil of Summer here, so I think I'm going to try to play around that. We will Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing Chrome Mox. We'll go grab a Song of Creation. Play it. We'll play out our lands. And then it's a mistake to fetch immediately. What you actually want to do is cast a spell. And then with that spell on the stack, you can then fetch. Because at least you get 1 Song of Creation trigger if they try to destroy it. And now we'll draw 2. We have another Veil of Summer. And now the whole goal at this point is to just cast a lethal Grapeshot for 19. Dark Ritual. And I think I have enough resources where I'm going to auto-yield to the Song of Creation. Sometimes you don't want to if you're light on resources because you could sacrifice your hand to Lion's Eye Diamond and make mana. But we have so much going on here that that's not going to be a problem. And I guess we could Burning Wish for Thoughtseize here just to see what they have going on. Beseech the Mirror. We'll grab a Thoughtseize. Do you even have Veil of Summer? Let's find out. No Veil of Summer. Okay. We will Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing the Song of Creation. And this way there's no trigger, so you can't accidentally draw the Tendrils. We'll cast Tendrils of Agony. And that's going to be match number 2. You don't need Force of Will versus Control decks. Alright, match 3 coming right up. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3, we're on the play. I faced this person a few months ago on Cephalid Breakfast. I hope they're not playing that again here today, but we're not able to keep this hand. It's just, it needs too much to function, so we're going to send it back. This is much better. We will keep bottom the second Brainstorm, Commercial District, Surveil. Look at that, another Echo. Lion's Eye Diamond. That was an F6. I'm going to pass. They un-F6'd. Interesting. So they might have Force of Will in their hand. Once upon a time. So maybe not Cephalid Breakfast. They find Endurance. So Cradle Control or Artisan Elves, whatever you would like to call it. That's what this looks like here. And then they're going to main phase the Endurance. That's fine. I mean, we still have this Echo of Aeons in our hand. Another Beseech the Mirror. We're going to fetch out the Underground Seed because we don't want to draw it when we Echo. And we'll just Echo now. So this is going to be Storm 1, Echo of Aeons. That could have been better. Let's cast Brainstorm. Interesting. Okay, so Storm is 2. So hypothetically, let's say I put back Tendrils and Veil of Summer, which I think is kind of free to do. So we'll just start there. We have 6 spells we can cast in our hand. That brings us up to 8. So if I hit another cantrip off the Ponder, we can then win. Or if I hit a Burning Wish. So I think we can just cast some spells here. And hopefully we find another Ponder or Brainstorm. Ponder. Burning Wish would also do it. Beseech the Mirror. I mean, I could have gone all in on the Lion's Eye Diamond, but I feel like that's such a risky play. So now the question is, do you pass and accept losing to a Collector Oof? Or do you shuffle hoping to hit Burning Wish or another Echo of Aeons? I think the sacrificing Lion's Eye Diamond for Ponder here was like really greedy. I mean, it happened to work. There's only 3 Beseech the Mirrors in the deck. I think you're supposed to shuffle. We still have 6 main deck hits that win the game between Echo and Burning Wish. Alright, shuffle. Another Veil. Okay, we have to pass. We are 1 spell short there. Gaia's Cradle. And here's the Green Sun Zenith. Yep. So I made the right call with the shuffle. We just needed our Echo to be slightly better. I'm not liking our odds at winning this game anymore. We find another Echo of Aeons. So how we win this game at this point is we find a Burning Wish, kill the Collector Oof, and then Echo into a win. But step 1 is finding the Burning Wish. Fiend Artisan. Yep. We can cycle 2 Veil of Summers here. Then they hard cast a Once Upon a Time. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like hindsight thinking at this point. I'm like, I have 2 diamonds. Maybe I could have cracked 1 for black. But I don't know. Only 3 Beseeches makes it like kind of a risky line. They play Underground Mortuary. And now they can attack for 4. I'll go to 15. And so you could search out the Bayou first here to guarantee your ability to cast 2 Veil of Summers. But I also have 4 Brainstorm in my deck. So I'm going to cast 1 here, hoping to draw a Brainstorm. I drew another Misty, so it didn't matter. And now we can fetch. We'll grab the other Bayou. Cast Veil of Summer. Ponder's not a bad one. Another land. We'll play Ponder. None of these are what we want. We will shuffle. Another Echo of Aeons. Pass the turn. I mean, we're a Burning Wish away from being back in this game. Or it just might be over here. And it is. Okay, so we can go to game number 2. Unfortunately, our draws just did not pan out. It happens in Magic, but that was a rough loss. So we'll bring in Chain of Vapor. We want the Force of Wills. I don't think that Beseiju is actually good in this matchup, so we're not going to bring that in. You can side out Galvanic Relay. And then do you want to leave in multiple Veil of Summers? Like, they have Thoughtseize, but it's not really a card you want to be holding open. Like, if you're holding open Veil of Summer, you're probably not winning. So I'm going to board down to 1. And we'll try this out. We are on the play. This is not bad. I think I'll keep this. It's a turn 1 Song of Creation. Lead on Chromox. Imprint the Echo. Dark Ritual. Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing Chromox. Grab the Song of Creation. Play it. Misty Rainforest, and let's draw 2 cards. Song of Creation. They have Force of Vigor. It's only a 2 of! Come on! Brutal. We must pass the turn. From 1 Ignoble Hierarch, we will fetch. Grab the Commercial District. Beseech. I think we're supposed to keep this, but I'm still pretty far away from winning the game with it. Play the Misty Rainforest and we'll pass. Another Hierarch. Cradle. This looks like a Green Sun Zenith for Collector Roof, and it is. So they had a nuts start. Turn 1 Endurance or Force of Vigor into turn 2 Collector Roof. Believe it or not, if we draw... Ooh, that is much worse for us than Collector Roof. We could have won if we had drawn a Dark Ritual. Now we have to find the answer to Gaea. We'll grab an Undercity Sewers. Brainstorm is worth keeping, I believe. Play the Brainstorm. Put back Force of Will, Tendrils of Agony. Play Ponder. Shuffle. Play a land. Pass the turn. We cannot cast the Beseech the Mirror due to Gaea. So if you're like, well, you could Beseech for 4 mana. No, you cannot. That is not how that card works. Fiend Artisan. So now, next turn, they can go grab a Collector Roof too. We're in trouble here. Okay. I am not going to use the Misty. I think it would be a mistake. Dark Ritual. So now if we draw, something good, we could stand a chance at winning. Because if I draw Chain of Vapor, I can bounce the Gaea and win through Collector Roof. But I think we're just dead here to Fiend Artisan for the Critterhuff Behemoth. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, 9 mana. Would it be lethal? Yeah, it would be. We're dead. Am I wrong? It seems like I'd be dead. Did they board out the Critterhuff Behemoth? Okay, so they're activating Fiend Artisan. Magus of the Moon. Alright, I am definitely dead to that one. I guess I could Burning Wish into Grapeshot. Alright, I guess we're not actually dead. I mean, I'm pretty close to dead, but I was not expecting Magus of the Moon. Mox Opal will not do it here. Opposition Agent. Okay, we're never winning this. Holy moly. And that is 9 damage next turn. So I guess theoretically I get 1 draw step, but even Burning Wish I don't think does it anymore. Another Hierarch, that doesn't kill me. Fiend Artisan into Collector Roof. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we just got destroyed. We're at 3. And that's going to do it. Alright, so in game 1, our draws didn't really pan out. You could have argued that I was supposed to sacrifice a Lion's Eye Diamond. Yeah, maybe. In hindsight, with double Lion's Eye Diamond. With 1, I think no. With 2, maybe I should have done it. So that might be my own fault. Game 2, our opponent had a 2 of. I don't think you're supposed to play around Force of Vigor there. They also had the Endurance. I think passing was a little sketchy, so sometimes you just lose. That is a part of playing Magic the Gathering, but we're going to keep our chin up and try to win match number 4. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4, we're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand, but I'm not sold on it yet. So I've faced this person twice in recent history on Doomsday, and this hand is a little bit slow versus Doomsday. Also, Dark Ritual into Galvanic Relay isn't really what you want. However, their Goldfish recently has a bunch of Grixis Delver in there, and I think that this hand is acceptable versus Grixis Delver, so we're going to keep it. They shuffled on the Ponder. Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play Undercity Sewers, Surveil 1. Song of Creation is not what we want here. We'll get rid of that. Misty Rainforest. They're passing. Ponder. Let's try to Ponder. Beseech the Mirror is a good one. We'll take the Beseech. Pass the turn. They activate Misty Rainforest for an Undercity Sewer. So this is probably Doomsday. And they put a Polluted Delta to their graveyard. Burning Catacomb, so this does give them Doomsday mana. Well, it looks like they're going to have Doomsday next turn. They have 5 cards in hand. We need to win right now. They have 5 cards. We have to assume that they have a Force of Will, which is why they kept a hand that didn't really do anything. So we're hoping to draw into some sort of payoff that allows us to win. Another land. I think we're dead. Maybe they'll Force of Will a Dark Ritual here. Hiding the land so that way they think that maybe it doesn't matter. They daze. We'll pay. Dark Ritual. That resolved. We'll try to fetch. See if they stifle. They did not. We'll grab a Volcanic Island. Dark Ritual. What about a Lion's Eye Diamond? Dark Ritual. We have a lot of mana here. Beseech the Mirror. Turn 6. They had nothing? No. What? Holy moly. I'll take it. Wow. All right. Free win. We'll bring in Force of Will. This is a matchup where you want Veil of Summer. And Galvanic Relay can be a little bit slow, but leaving in 1 is okay. Because it is a Beseech the Mirror target. It's okay to naturally draw if you slow the game down with Force of Will too. And then we'll just board out a couple copies of Mox Opal. Sketchy Opening Hands is my middle name. We're going to keep this. We have Force of Will. We have Chrome Mox that is essentially our blue mana source. So think of this hand like a mulligan to 6. And I think that way you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's not so bad. Like your Chrome Mox is basically just basic island. And then from there you have a way to make sure that you don't die. If you find Beseech the Mirror plus another artifact, you have a protected win. I think it's a reasonable keep. Polluted Delta pass. We find our land anyway. Beautiful. We'll fetch. That fetch land resolved. We'll grab Underground Sea. Play Ponder. Would you look at that? This is a protected win next turn. We'll leave the Beseech the Mirror on top. Play out a Lotus Petal. We'll pass the turn. So, I was thinking about playing out a Chrome Mox there. It's a little bit dicey because if I have to Force of Will and they daze, I have to sacrifice the Lotus Petal. But I don't think they're going to daze into an untapped Lotus Petal anyway. So I think that it's a good enough bluff. And they put a daze through their graveyard. And they have a hand that apparently does nothing. So we should probably assume that they have more than just daze going on here. Let's brainstorm. Veil of Summer. Alright. So let's think through this. I need to keep at least 1 blue card to exile to the Force of Will. So if I put back Volcanic Island Echo, we have Opal Chrome Mox, and I think this is a win. No, it's not a win, because I can't imprint and have Force blue card. We'll hide Opal on the bottom. Actually, should it be Echo on the bottom? Echo on the bottom, Beseech on top. Play the Volcanic Island, pass the turn. And they just pass. I'm sorry, and I just passed, but they're just passing again, going straight to cleanup. Discard Shield Red. We draw the known Beseech the Mirror. We'll play out Mox Opal. And by waiting a turn, we don't have to imprint onto the Chrome Mox. Dark Ritual. We'll float a blue. Float a green. Beseech the Mirror with Bargain. Sacrificing the Mox Opal. We'll grab Gaia's Will. And we're going to Gaia's Will, and in response, we'll float a black. Force of Negation, exiling Force of Will. We will Force of Will their Force of Negation. They have 5 cards remaining. They Force of Will exiling Stifle. We will Veil of Summer. They have 3 cards left. And our spells resolve. Force of Will beating Doomsday here. Boom! Let's go! Take that, Doomsday. Alright, Force of Will living up to the hype. Match number 5 coming up in just a moment. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The final match. We're on the draw. Our opponent has revealed a Yorion Sky Nomad. However, they tend to play a lot of Beanstalk control decks, so I'm not going to put them on something like Death and Taxes here. I'm going to assume that it is a control deck, which, you know, the Polluted Delta would agree with. We'll play Misty Rainforest, pass back. Blooded Strand. On their end step, we'll activate the Misty, go search out the Undercity Sewers. Get that Surveil trigger on. Dark Ritual's not a card I need here. That can go straight to the graveyard. Mox Opal. We have all the mana in the world, but we could use some protection or a Galvanic Relay. Underground Sea. Entomb. Was not expecting that. They put Atraxa to their graveyard, and they search out a Tundra. So they might be on the pest control, like, larger scam variant. So if we play out all of our artifacts, there's a chance that they're destroyed by that new card from Outlaws the Thunder Junction Pest Control. I'm expecting the Atraxa to be reanimated here, or else I don't think that they would have revealed it. And there it is. I think our opponent's favored at this point, and our opening hand is not aligning well. Our draw steps haven't been great either. Force of Will, Harvester of the Misery. So this can destroy Hate Bears pretty easily. It's just 2 and discard this card, so it can't even be countered because it's an activated ability. They have Solitude, Swords to Plowshares. They took Grief, Force of Will, Lorien Revealed, and a Snow-Covered Island. They have 9 cards in hand. They play out Polluted Delta. On the end step, we'll fetch. Grab Commercial District. Veil of Summer's not a bad one. We'll keep that. And now they go to cleanup. Discards a Dawnbringer Cleric. That's a spicy one. Okay, so we'll play out Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. What about a Chrome Mox? And I think we want to imprint the Dark Ritual. And now we're going to try to play Song of Creation. We know that they have Grief, Snow-Covered Island still in their hand. But we do know that they have a Force of Will. So we're going to need to Veil of Summer the Force of Will here. They exile the Lorien Revealed. We'll attempt the Veil of Summer. Main deck Flusterstorm. That's a little bit odd. But okay. So even if I had Galvanic Relay, they had the answer. I mean, this is not a card I would expect to see in too many main decks. It's just not very good in the current format, but very good against me, so props to the opponent. We're now going to play out the Chrome Mox because we know that our opponent has Grief in hand. And if they Grief us, they're going to discard this Echo of Aeons. They pick up a Shadowy Backstreet and put a Lorien Revealed to the graveyard. They attack for 7, we go to 11. They play the known Snow-Covered Island and evoke a Grief, exiling Orcish Bowmasters. So Echo will go to the graveyard. They still have 2 cards in hand. They play a Spellseeker with 1 Tundra available, and they grab an Ephemerate. So this is really good for them. They flicker the Spellseeker. Is their last card in hand a Force? Why wouldn't you flicker the Atraxa? And they pick up a main deck copy of Surgical Extraction. Alright. I mean, I tried what I could. I guess how we win this game now is I draw a Beseech the Mirror. And right now. Like, that is how we win. Beseech the Mirror off the top in this very instance. Beseech. Nope, it's a Chrome Mox. Okay, we'll pass. And I believe we're dead now. So the Ephemerate can flicker the Spellseeker, and then they can go get another piece of interaction. And they picked up another copy of Ephemerate. They attack for 7, we'll go to 4. Brainstorm, we'll play it. And there's 2 copies of Beseech the Mirror, but it's far too late. We would have needed to find like Dark Ritual plus Beseech here, and for our opponent to not have any way to interact with us off of Spellseeker. But that's not what happened, and we're going to game number 2. I think I want the Beseech Ooze. We'll side out a couple copies of Mox Opal. I don't think that this is a Force of Will matchup. Like, just because our opponent has a Reanimator package in their control deck doesn't mean we want Force of Will. I generally think that Galvanic Relay is still better. You want Veil of Summer. So even if, hypothetically, you wanted to bring in Force of Will, what do you side out? So you need a certain density of artifacts for your Beseeches. You need blue count for Force of Will, so you can't sideboard out Echo of Aeons. Well, really, what's left? It's like Burning Wish, I guess, is like the only card you could side out, and I'm not even convinced that's good. So I don't want to make that move. I'd rather just, accept that this isn't really a Burning Wish matchup and just try to win it how we beat other control decks. On the play for game number 2. This is a decent hand we'll keep. Bloodstained Mire, we'll fetch. Grab a Volcanic Island. Actually, I probably should have played the Lion's Eye Diamond pre-fetching, because now they could Force of Will my Lion's Eye Diamond if I play it out. That was good. Okay, so we will put back these 2. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll try a Mox Opal, Veil of Summer. That resolved. Chrome Mox. No. We'll do blue and black. Echo. That was a very good brainstorm. Storm is 7. So I could play Song of Creation here. I think that's probably worth it. We'll play out Lotus Petal and then imprint the Veil of Summer, because that means that the Chrome Mox is green, the Lotus Petal is red. And now you can play the Song of Creation. And we get to fetch here too. So we'll fetch, we'll go grab the Underground Sea, play Dark Ritual. We get 2 Song of Creation triggers, or 2 draws off of Song of Creation, 2 triggers all together with the Ponder. And now we'll play Ponder, Firm is 12, keep all of these. Lion's Eye Diamond, Dark Ritual. Any red card wins us the game now, so does Beseech the Mirror. We'll Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing the Song of Creation. So you want to sacrifice the Song of Creation, because if you don't, you could draw the Tendrils of Agony, and then you don't have a win. So we don't want that to happen. And that was a turn 1 in match 5. We're off to game number 3. Let's see if we can get it. For the marbles, we will keep in game number 3. We have a fast Galvanic Relay, which is good against the deck with all of the forces. We have to hope that Relay is good enough here. They mulligan and lead on a Polluted Delta. Another Relay. I'm just going to start on a Ponder. I don't want to burn Lotus Petal and Mox Opal to cast this Galvanic Relay. So that is my thought process here. Play Ponder. I think we want to keep this. Pass the turn. They fetch with Polluted Delta. Grabs an Underground Sea. And there's Entomb. Atrox is back. There it is. Alright, the opponent is at 12 life. Force of Will, Surgical Extraction, Pest Control, Force and Negation, Spellseeker. So the Pest Control is really dangerous here because I have all of these zeros for my Galvanic Relay. Tundra, Pest Control, Force and Negation, Spellseeker, Tundra. They play the Tundra and pass. We know that we're drawing Beseech the Mirror. Now this Galvanic Relay is a little bit dangerous. We'll fetch. Volcanic Island. Ponder. I don't think we want any of those. Shuffle. And I think I'm willing to Galvanic Relay here. We're not going to beat this Force and Negation otherwise. Imprint the Galvanic Relay. And if they want to Pest Control away a single Chrome Mox, let them do it. Relay for 4. You could have played out the Mox Opal, but I'm hoping with only a single Chrome Mox in play, they decide it's not worth it. They have the Flusterstorm again? Alright, sure. I think we've lost this, but oh well. I don't know how many Flusterstorms our opponent's playing. It seems like they're a Spellseeker deck, so I'd be surprised if they had more than one, but you never know. They get to attack with their Atroxa, Snow-Covered Plains, Null Rod. I did board in the Beseech Ooze, but we're so far away from that being relevant. I think we're going to be dead, because we know that they still have Force and Negation, Spellseeker in hand, so I need to win before I'm literally dead. I have to win through the Null Rod, and I have to find a way through the Force and Negation. They attack, picks up Scrubland, and here's the Spellseeker, and they find another Flusterstorm. So they do have multiple copies of Flusterstorm, which it's just bad luck for us as the Storm combo deck. Like, our opponent has Null Rod, Flusters, Force and Negation, Force of Will, Surgical Extractions. Like, they're prepared to beat combo. And sometimes you're just going to lose to that. Like, if your opponent's ready for you, like, there's not a whole lot you can do. And I don't think siding in Force of Will would have fixed this. So we have a win, but we know that our opponent has Flusterstorm and Force and Negation in their hand. So we are dead. And unfortunately, we're going to finish this league off with a 3-2 record. But I don't think it's that bad. Like, our opponent, our 5th round deck, I don't think we should expect to beat very often. Pest Controls, all that other hate too. And, you know, sometimes you will lose. The match that gets me is match number 3, where we were facing the Artisan Elves deck. My draws in that first game were not very good. I could have sacrificed the Lion's Eye Diamond. Maybe that's my own fault. I'm going to need to review the tape on that one a little bit more. And then in game 2, we lost to a low percentage play from the opponent. So it happens. You're not going to crush every event you play, but I still really, really believe in this deck list. I believe that it's the way we want to move moving forward. I don't know what it will look like after Modern Horizons 3 drops. But until that happens, I love this deck list. I do plan on testing Necro Dominance. I'm not convinced it's actually going to be good in the Epic Storm. I think it competes a lot with Galvanic Relay, which is actually much better suited for our deck only being a single red mana and not triple black. It's also uncounterable versus the blue decks for the most part, unless they have those main deck Flusterstorms. But I think it's just, you know, a card that suits the Epic Storm more. It doesn't need something like Born Upon the Wind to be good. And, you know, I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself. Modern Horizons 3 isn't even here yet. But those are my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. But that's all I've got for today. So have a great day. And as always, keep storming. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. If you're looking for more sweet combo content, we have tons of it over at theepicstorm.com, where you can find matchup guides, play-by-play, and storm puzzles featuring a monthly combo expert. You're going to love what we have over there.